Good morning. Today is the day we figure out, hopefully, fingers crossed, what the heck is going on with our Mercedes Airstream camper van. It is approximately 7:15. We have an appointment at the local Mercedes dealership here in Rockland, California. To bring you up to speed, we were at a campground just north of here, about 2.5 hours when the van completely broke down. We went to start it to leave the campground and it was DEAD. So here we are, trying to figure out what our next move is. Next step, I'm gonna Uber to the Mercedes dealership. Hopefully they have a loaner cart available for us. We called yesterday, they said they should, but you just never know. And then that's our game plan. Literally, we have no game plan. Our game plan is completely reliant on what happens with our camper van. So we're gonna bring y'all along and we'll see what happens. All right, and here comes our Uber ride.
I was very open and honest with Nick because I didn't want. I totally understood. He said, yeah, take your time.
So this is gonna be a little romance on our.
Well, there's our baby in the service bay. Don't know if I should be concerned, but there is a lot of sprinters here lined up. Like a lot. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of Sprinter vans here and quite a few Sprinter camper vans here that are at the service bay. So I don't know what that's all about, but guy said they came in waves. And that could be very well be the case. Now, fun fact, they had to disengage the drivetrain to load it onto the tow truck yesterday, and in order for Mercedes to work on it, they're going to have to reattach it. So I'm already starting with a $288 bill. Now, this thing is 60 days old, so needless to say, I'm gonna be stiffing somebody, not stiffing somebody, but I'm gonna be sticking somebody with this $288 bill because, well, I mean, I didn't break it. And it's 60 days old. So my next call this morning is to kind of figure out who's going to pick up the tab for this, but also need to figure out what our next move is here. We've got a hotel for today, but we have to check out here pretty soon. They're hoping to get it into the shop today so they can start working on it, but there's no guarantees. So I think we're gonna book one more night here in Rockland, California, and then go from there. Yeah. Now, while we're here, check out how cool this is right here. Little G-Wagon action. This is the AMG G63 4x4. True story. This, bam, vehicle behind me, $350,000. Pricey, but man, it's sexy. Just made it back to the hotel, time to head back up to the room. Lauren and Dash, well, Dash technically was still sleeping, so that's why they stayed behind. But also because, well, we didn't want to put a car seat in an Uber just to go up the road to the dealership. So they kind of stayed behind, and I'll jump back up to the room, fill Lauren in, and hopefully at some point today, fingers crossed, we get a call from Mercedes with some good news. I guess we'll just see how it goes. We have fast forwarded one complete day, and I will bring you up to speed. It is the very next morning, late yesterday afternoon. There wasn't really much going on throughout the day, so late yesterday afternoon, we got a call from Mercedes. The premise of it is that they ran some software updates, they got the battery running, they did a road test. They were able to do that yesterday in the afternoon. Everything is up and running now. That's the goal, and that is what they accomplished. The cause of it is still a little muddy. I've sent all the information over to Vinny. It's been amazing working with Vinny over at Vinny's North Bay Airstream, and he has been awesome. And the crazy thing is, I've never actually even met him, even though I've texted and talked to him many, many times. So that'll be fun. We're gonna the plan is to go pick up the van from the Mercedes dealership, and then we're going to bring it back to the hotel because we still have to pack. It's very, very early in the morning. Then we're going to load it up, and then we're going to start to head towards Vinny's today. And from there, there's like an entirely different thing that's going to happen because there we have to have some hail damage repaired as well.
Yeah, because this also happened to the van while we were in Nebraska like 2 weeks ago.
Moral of the story is that we're here. It took roughly the entire day yesterday to get them to get it up and running. It's up and running. And we're going to see what it's like when we get there. We're going to ask a few more questions. So let's do this.
California 65 South using.
They're really happy. And
You want to talk?
In 2 miles to.
Uh-oh. Sorry, dude. You're not tall enough to activate the doors. Oh, me neither.
Bad news, they couldn't get it fixed. The good news is we're leaving with this bad boy.
Just kidding.
Yeah. Some new sprinters in here today. Been checking them out because I wanted to see how they do somebody had the recovery boards, what do you call those, recovery tracks or whatever, on the roof yesterday, and I was like, well, that's a pretty good spot to store them. So kind of cool to check out other people's rigs. Do the same thing when you have a towable trailer.
Is it just me, or was no one else expecting to see another Sprinter van at the Mercedes dealership? A little concerned about that. All right, so we just talked to the team. They gave us the keys, and software update is the word. Apparently it answers all of the weird glitchy things that we were dealing with as far as the door opening and the locks and the whole nine, and they said it works great now. So they said, go have fun. Therefore, we're taking her to Vinny's.
Yeah, so Lauren walked in, saw this with our cabinetry, and needless to say, she's not very happy right now. I don't even know what to say.
Just talked to the Mercedes team. Ooh, hold on, somebody's having a and apparently they think that the tow truck company, that this must have happened when it was being towed, but no one who was working on the van or test drove it noticed that all of this was out, which I'm happy we're taking it to Vinny's. That's all I got, because nothing else about this is, I have nothing positive else to say.
How you feeling right now? Is there a crack in your Disney? Is it getting bigger?
No, I just think that it's very frustrating, and I don't think it's possible for you to have test driven this vehicle and not have heard the amount of clanking and noticed that this was...
That the drawers are broken?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, so now that we're doing a little damage assessment, now that we've moved some of the drawers away, what's going on here?
I punched a hole in the floor.
Yeah, look at that. Brand new floors. Done ripped a hole in it. And this right here is
Dunzos.
jacked. Yeah, so. Oh yeah, this one's absolutely broken, and then this one's broken, obviously. Okay.
Let's get the car seat in here and get to Vinny's, because guess what? We have an appointment already. And now he has more work. I hope he likes us.
Moment of truth. It starts. That's all I got. I have nothing else to say. I was trying to think of something else to say, but that's all I've got.
I'm sure there are 100 learning lessons throughout this entire van experience, but one of the things that I would say at this point, if you ever have to have your RV or your vehicle towed, I would say make sure you follow the tow vehicle and double check and make sure the vehicle is fine after it has been towed, because we signed off. He was like, oh no, don't worry about it, you know. I have to sign all the paperwork at Mercedes. You actually don't have to be there. Just be there tomorrow morning for your appointment. Now, I wish we had not done that. I wish we would have followed them and checked to make sure that the Airstream was fine before he signed it over to Mercedes, because now I'm sure as we try to figure out who's going to be responsible for the damage to the drawers and the floor, which will need to be replaced, I'm sure it's going to be a blame game. And blame games are frustrating. So, if you ever have to have a vehicle towed, follow them to the shop, make sure it's fine before they leave. Yay, van life! So obviously the windshield needs to be cleaned, but
honestly, like, watch this. I'm not even flooring it. Look at that. I feel like at least it has more pickup now. Now, maybe that is like 100% in my head, but like when I floor it, like, look at that.
oh, it does feel like it's actually moving.
Right? Like before I would floor it and it's like loading, you know? And then like it would slowly build some, you slowly accelerate. But legitimately, I don't know if it's a software update or if it's just 100% in my head. I feel like it has more like get up and go. Again, that's just how I feel now that I'm driving it now. That's interesting. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know what would cause that or not cause that or whatnot, but interesting observation after just picking up the van.
Now we're basically just gonna park her in front of the hotel and go grab our stuff, take her to the next shop. But thankfully, I'm feeling pretty good about hanging out with Vinny because his team has been so flexible with us. They know what they're doing. We also learned that apparently Vinny spent like 10 or 15 years working with Mercedes before he opened his own shop too. So like, we think he might have pulled a few strings and got our van done early because it wasn't supposed to be done today. So we're feeling really good about trusting him to help us figure out this cluster.
Really, honestly, one of the main reasons we're going to Vinny, I'm going to be honest with you, because we didn't know too much about Vinny and his team, is because of a bunch of you. A bunch of you recommended that we go to Vinny's, and we listened to your recommendations. We don't always get to all of the comments, but we definitely listen to your recommendations, and everybody's like, you got to go to Vinny's, you got to get Ivan to do the dance. We're getting like personal messages from close friends that are like, Ivan is the magician. You gotta get him to remove all your hail damage. So that's exactly why we're headed here, because of recommendations from you guys. So because of that, thank you. And we're gonna let you know how it turns out.
All right, van loaded with our stuff. Are you ready to go see Vinny Dash?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. You like having that bag right there? Is it fun to play with? To Vinny's we go.
All right, so ready to see how bad the hail damage really is? Apparently this light is gonna show us the truth. Oh yeah, that's disturbing. Can you see that on camera?
I think so. Let's see. Yeah, you definitely can. Yeah.
Looks like a golf ball. Yeah. I feel like you just have to laugh at this point. Like,
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Well, welcome to our new facility here in Sacramento.
it's such a pleasure to officially get
Thank
to meet
you.
you, Vinny. You are like really popular.
Oh, a lot of nice clients, that's for sure.
Well, tell us a little bit about your small business. You know, is Wanderlocal. That's a big thing for us. We want to feature
Right.
small businesses.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit how long you've had it and what you
Right.
love about it.
So basically, it kind of started in or around 2008 when I bought an Airstream.
Okay.
And I thought, oh, I could probably do some of this, having some technical background. No, you guys are here week 1.
That's so
So
exciting.
we just moved in. We're
Okay.
really excited.
Well,
so
we're happy to be here.
we're happy to have you.
High five? You can give him a high five?
Give me a high five, dude.
High five.
You got this. Low five.
Come on, buddy.
Oh.
Oh, he hasn't had his morning nap yet. He'll get there. You got to introduce the other famous person that we're hanging out
yes,
with.
Yes, yes,
Whoa! Hey, who's that guy? Ivan the Great.
Yeah, I'm the Dan with the guy.
Well, we're super pumped. I think our van needs you. Would you say that?
Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
We're excited to see the end product because we've heard good things.
Yeah, I think we're gonna take care of it.
All right, beautiful. All right, Dashman, you ready? The van's staying at the spa. Yeah. So after talking to Vinny, they got the information that they needed to be able to determine at least a starting point for what needs to be done with the van. And because they aren't going to start on it today because we're late, they said, you know, if you guys want to take the van for the next couple of days, bring her back. That's perfectly fine. So that way you don't have to worry about a rental car. So that's good. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the van. We're going to go get lunch. And then we'll fill you in a little more detail about what's next for Wanderlocal and van life. Showing off Dee's mad backup skills.
I feel so confident.
You got room on this side.
Do I?
Mm-hmm.
I can't see back there.
Yeah. Stop. Bring her forward. Nice and tight. Bambi's tacos. Which one is your favorite? Yeah. That's a car. It's a convertible. Music was a little loud in there, so we weren't able to really tell you, but holy moly, those tacos were delicious. But we've had the kind of day that requires like 12 rounds of coffee, and we've only had one, so we saw a local coffee shop just around the bend, and that is where we're going now. Come on, let's go.
You gonna do them in lavender?
Dash, what is that, buddy? Is it a muffin? Yeah.
Lemon lavender. That's delicious. I love it, good. You can have Dada's bite. He can have another one. And there's a bear in the coffee. Snail in Dada's coffee.
Get a snail! You know at this point, if you've been following our channel, that we have probably been to several a gajillion, billion, trillion, million coffee shops. I cannot give this place, The Mill here in Sacramento, a higher recommendation. Not only is the coffee art next level on the lattes, but the beans are absolutely delicious. It's absolutely well made. I mean, honestly, I can't rave enough about it. What do you think about it?
My tea's fantastic, and I will note that there's a series of them, so it must be like a little small local chain in this area. Freaking deliciousness. What are we gonna do with our lives?
There are moments when things just ascend into absolute chaos and it seems like things are out of control, you just need to do a level set, and I think that's where we're at right now. We're gonna go back to our next hotel. That's kind of the irony of all of this. We spent more in hotels than we ever anticipated because we're gonna be living off grid and doing all that cool stuff, but we're gonna go back to the hotel and then we're going to figure out our lives and see what we're gonna do next.
Can we have a moment about the fact, though, that, like, moms should not wear white? This was so ambitious, thinking that this was going to be a good idea for the day.
One really cool thing about today is that we got to meet celebrities Vinny and Ivan. We've heard so much about them from you guys, so it was cool to meet them in person, and they're just as nice and genuine in person, which is a big bonus because we're putting our trust and faith in them to get us squared away with this vain situation.
But for real, we have no idea what we're going to do with our lives. Want to find out with us? Make sure you subscribe. But until next week, my friend, make sure you wander local. Because even though van life might not be, it sure is good for the soul.